Following is an official report from the Chernorussian government Cheraris, released on May 30, 2021.
The year was 2009. Civil war raged the small towns of Chernaris following a political dispute between the Cherno-Russian Defense Force and the Red Star. Death loomed everywhere as Red Star murdered and pillaged local civilians and government officials. And the CDF wanted an end once and for all, so they tried to develop a weapon of mass destruction for such a task. They knew the Red Star would not allow the development of this weapon, so it was kept top secret between the highest officials in Chernaris government. They developed the plans for a biological nuclear warhead within months, and by late 2009 the weapon was built. Rumors have it the construction of the weapon took place at a massive above-ground bunker in the deepest parts of Tizzy military base. The construction of the first two warheads went according to plan, and guessing by the leftover radiation, it suggested the test sites were a prison island and the Chernogorsk oil rig, possibly for their political leverage and remote locations. The third generation of this doomsday weapon was supposed to have an immense blast radius, enough to wipe out Kamensk Northeast Airfield in an attempt to damage what was the biggest military installation of the Red Star. Something must have happened during the final stages of the third bomb's creation, and one day the sky lit up from the direction of Tizzy military. The theory is, the Red Star caught wind of the test and somehow found out where they were being developed. They must have launched an attack, because all that remains is rotting flesh and the biggest radiation spill known in Cherno-Russian history. There was an attempt to clean up that spill, but very quickly it took over and infected most of the general population. Most guessed from the unknown biological component within the weapon. The effects of the radiation caused the death of most. And with the still unknown pathogens laced within those three warheads, it created a massive mutation to those who survived after the blast, causing them to be reanimated after death. This was completely unexpected by the public, and the military forces still trying to remain in the country quickly became a growing concern, shared by everyone residing in the borders. Before long, the sheer number of undead, or Odaisel, as the locals call them, was enough to overwhelm most of the military forces and push them out. The ones too prideful to abandon their posts soon ended up as one of them. Within just a few years, the only ones still alive were the toughest of the toughest military factions that split off from the original forces, bandit groups who thirst for revenge and lawlessness in what's left of the world, and a few lone survivors just lucky enough to still be alive. They are known as the Damned. After a long while of radio silence and mutual starvation, a ray of hope for the new world showed through the darkness, as traders began setting up trade routes with nearby factions and groups of extraordinary individuals that had a hankering for exploration and danger. As more people arrived along the coast of Chernaris, bloodied and beaten, most assumed the rest of the world had met the same fate. With this new world blossoming, you find yourself along a sandy beach, wondering, what is your role here?
Next is a document discovered after survivors infiltrated a Blackwatch base on June 6, 2022, presumably written by a member of Red Star.
The year was 2007. Unknown to the public, the bomb that changed everything was actually in planning for years. Funded and planned through the collaboration between two groups, Cherno-Russian Defense Force and Blackwatch. Blackwatch was a not-so-well-known organization specializing in terrorism and research into biochemical weapons. They were found to be funding the Chernaris Defense Force in secret for the creation of the bomb that turned Chernaris and the rest of the world into an undead feast. And when a group of moral Blackwatch members discovered this, they decided to make a change. About 10 former Blackwatch members sat down and discussed plans to sabotage the creation of the bomb. Decidedly, in the middle of the night on August 18th, they stole a truck with massive amounts of weaponry and other supplies from the CDF and Blackwatch. And with these supplies, they created the Red Star. They were an organization with only one goal: take down Blackwatch and the CDF. For years, They fought Blackwatch and CDF on the coasts and fields and towns of Chernarus, leaving death in their wake, and recruiting more and more good-hearted locals and growing their army. Despite the Red Star's best efforts, however, the bomb was finished being built by late 2009. Growing tensions began in the ranks of the Red Star as they tried to plan one final sabotage, the stealing and subsequent safe destruction of the bomb. Red Star firmly believed the bomb should never go off, but Blackwatch was determined as ever. On November 9th, as Red Star made an attempt to infiltrate Bunker 666, Blackwatch caught news of the fighting and remotely detonated the bomb, while it and everyone else was still inside the bunker. This is the truth to the start of the end of the world. The Red Star is not your enemy.